honestly, I wish I had a little Jeff behind me every time I completed a silly little task.
Yeah.
You know, like I make coffee and he's like, "You're good." I'm like, "Yeah, thanks. I did just do that."
I wash my hands after taking a leak. You're good. Get back out there.
Backdoors and Blindside starts now.
Previously on
Survivor. Savannah won, but nobody gave a shit because all we cared about was getting to 50.
And now we're here.
And here we are.
Congratulations. We all made it.
On Backdoors and Blindsides, a brand new season covering the historic Survivor's 50, as Jeff calls it on the show. It's a landmark season. I mean, 25 years, at least 2-ish seasons a year, or maybe even 3, or like, you know, the ratio's all over the place. Impressive run, obviously, one of the longest running reality shows, and definitely like the deepest fan base. I think without a doubt, Survivor fans go harder and have stuck around, you know, for the long run. More than any show I can really think of, honestly.
I think
been running that long.
It really captivated the audience. I mean, there was nothing like that before ever on television.
Yeah, and at this point, we've talked about how it's like transcended generations, and like now the youngest players have literally watched it their entire life. Like actually, Rizzo's 25, so Rizzo has watched Survivor his entire life
from the womb,
which is crazy. And yeah, here we are, episode 1, Epic Party. We right away open with, I think, a sick opening on the broadcast, and honestly, it works. It got me. I popped for it. The super cut of the entire history of the show, back to the shitty, you know, new age digital camera shit that was going on to now, and all these historic players, all of the stories. It rocked. And,
I kind of got cold chills. I shaved my arms, but the hair on it would stand up if I didn't.
The phantom hairs.
Yeah.
I was...
Still got goosebumps.
Look, I will say right out of the gate, like, we have been... Is dubious the right word? Of Survivor 50 for the last year, or really since we've started the show, because they have put all of their eggs into this basket.
And there's been a lot of casting controversy, too. People that should have been on it, Carolyn, and other people like that got kind of punished for going on other TV shows.
Yeah, that's
bullshit.
So
there were a lot of players that people are like, why aren't they on it? You could probably create another entire all-star cast with everyone that everyone loves.
I'm going to say this right now. I bet you we get that sooner than not, because look at the trend of like what's making all of these shows so big right now. Like Traitors has reestablished kind of the rules of success, and that having an all-star cast on your show is going to pull in the viewers. Now, I mean, Survivor is a little different because it has the diehards where like people are going to be into it no matter what. But from the jump, like a big criticism of 49 was that it just seemed like they stopped caring halfway through.
Well, literally halfway through, the thumbnail on Hulu that said, you know, Survivor, and it was like a picture of Jeff standing there with his arms crossed. It flipped to Survivor 50 halfway through 49. I was like, guys, I need, like, let us just get through 49, please.
We're not even promoting like 49 as it's live.
No,
we're running ads for the upcoming 50, and we were a little worried that it was gonna be, it's too good to be true. You know, it's like, how good can they make it? But I'll say right now, strong first offering from Jeff Probst and his team kicking off this season. So we open the show with the super cut. We get some factoids. 751 players over the course of 25 years and 49 seasons. Way more than I would have guessed, honestly.
It's a huge amount of cast members. I mean, it's a little less than that current day, because I think, unfortunately, a handful of people died, but
R.I.P. Fish, man.
R.I.P.
Let's we're not going to point out every, you know, distinct difference between this season and other seasons, but kind of the first one right off of the bat is we arrive on everyone's together on a big catamaran. We're not on the individual boats.
But see, one of my favorite things that they do is they get that pirate ship out there. They're on the pirate ship.
Yeah, yeah.
And they all have all the supplies is on the pirate ship. And Jeff tells them, you have 90 seconds to grab as much as you can. And then it's all of the tribes trying to throw all this shit off the boat. They're trying to jump in the water. It's a scramble and I was kind of expecting that. And then it was just, we're riding on a boat and now we're on the beach.
We have just started this long victory lap. It's not a fucking chance that they're going to be, hitting it right out of the gate. No, we have to, we have to have this victory lap and more on that. But yeah, no individual boats by tribe. Right off the bat, Jeff is handing out parcels with the buffs instead of assigning tribes on Ponderosa. So we watch them in real time, figure out what tribe everyone is on. And we have 3 colors. We have orange, which is the Cirie tribe. We have teal for the Kalo tribe. And then we have this magenta, purple, whatever you want to call it for the Vatu tribe.
They're calling it purple, but I will refer to it as pink. I refuse to call it purple.
It's closer to pink than purple, I think.
Yes, it's pink.
Yeah.
Go look at Tika from like 47. That's purple.
But
not Vatu. It's freaking pink. They can't fool me. Can't fool these eyes.
As we are, unveiling our buffs and kind of aligning with things, we get Jeff going down the line, asking some questions. Cirie, what's going through your head right now?
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Is that good? Did that do it for you?
How often have you practiced that?
Never. He's pretty easy to do.
Good. That's pretty good.
We point out that Survivor 50 is in the hands of the fans, meaning fans voted on all sorts of ways that the game will be run.
I don't like the branding of that.
Why?
Because if it goes horribly wrong, the production's gonna be like,
of course,
fans, you voted for it.
Yeah.
I'm like, you know what I didn't vote for, Jeff? I didn't vote for 3 tribes. I want 2 tribes. That's what I want.
Was that
2 of them.
You voted, right?
I did.
Was that an option? Do you remember?
I don't think so.
Because
no.
I feel like that would have been pretty universal for the 2 tribes.
I will say though, 8 people to a tribe, that's a pretty thick tribe.
Yeah.
So the 3 tribes thing, I'm okay with that right now, but I hate the 6, 6, and 6 on, split up in 3 different tribes. But we didn't get to vote on that.
I just remember in this opening segment, I think you wanted more like of each person and just a little bit of like a story or like a quip from a lot of these different cast members. And you said, but I kind of would rather have less of Jeff and more of this. And I'm like, honey, you ain't getting less of Jeff in any scenario on Survivor. It is the
especially
Jeff,
on 50.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. This is the victory lap for Jeff Probst.
I didn't want to see more of each individual person. What I was referring to specifically during the episode, I was like, oh man, like we didn't get to see a certain few parts that we'll get into that were actually cut from like a standard episode of Survivor. I was like, where was this entire scene of this thing happening? And you're like, you think they were going to cut the beginning? The beginning was like 12 minutes long of Jeff just going down the line, doing his banter with everyone, which like is cool, sure. But I'm like, I want the meat of it. Like I know these people.
Let's get playing.
Yes, let's get playing. Like I feel like the foreplay was a little too much.
Even before we got work in the morning. Let's hurry this shit up,
Let's fucking go.
Before we even start the action, we do get a Jeff fake out where he teases, the in the hands of the fans, and the fans elected not to give them rice. And apparently like everyone stepped onto the beach and was already saying rice. Like before he was even going, I see people whispering rice.
I voted
to each other.
for rice.
Yeah?
Yes.
Why?
Because you're not getting any food out there. You're getting like dysentery from eating all the coconuts and drinking all this water.
Dysentery?
Isn't that
really?
when you shit yourself?
Or like diarrhea?
Diarrhea? Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah,
probably
liquid diet, baby. So that's just kind of that sets the tone, right? Is like he's definitely pointing out that I would say a couple times an episode we're gonna get a cheeky. The fans did this, so you can thank the fans for this moment.
This fan voted for the rice, so I don't know what to say.
We have our very first challenge, the marooning challenge, because to be marooned is to be left on an island by a boat.
Sure is.
And it's our first team challenge of the season. Real quick, the rundown. One player has to dig underneath a beam to retrieve a key, where another uses the key to release 2 paddles, another 2 unload rope from a boat, and 2 more get in the boat to retrieve a torch from out in the water attached to like a second platform.
A buoy kind
The
of.
last 2, because it's 8 people to a tribe, the last 2 use the paddles to knock a key down hanging from like a spiral ring to unlock the torch that's in the box that they got from the ocean, and they use that torch to light fire. The reward, flint for your tribe, and a bonfire already set up for you at camp, which I think is huge. I mean, we talk about how rice would be super advantageous.
Bonfire's not
but
small.
Yeah,
it has
I
to
mean,
be big
that
for it to count as
yes,
bonfire.
that rocks. So already, like, I think pretty high stakes.
Oh, yeah.
A huge advantage.
We had to rewind it and watch it a few times, though. Listening to Jeff, we're like, Jeff just keeps talking about this challenge, and I don't even know what's going to happen in it. I was like so lost. It was like a treasure hunt of a challenge.
Yeah, it was very scrambled.
A lot of steps.
And not a whole lot stood out. You know, it's the very first challenge. So
Everyone's
a lot of
little
times,
nervous. Everyone's excited.
Yeah.
Everyone's trying to prove themselves, right? You still have a full belly. You just got a big old meal back at Ponderosa for your last time before you not even get rice because fans didn't vote for it.
One thing I do want to point out is obviously everyone has a starter. Every tribe has a starter, and we'll go down who's on each tribe.
He's mad Savannah started. That's what he's mad at.
Of fucking course she did. Of course she had to be the first one to kick off.
You think she was going to be rowing the boat?
Not a goddamn
against Jonathan
chance.
and Joe and Ozzy and
she made
Kyle.
It, and I'll tell you what. What fucking tribe is she on? I have to check my notes. Whenever Sela wins immunity, you know she's going to be grabbing that fucking idol and handing it back to Jeff every time. Watch for it.
Matt's a big Savannah fan.
God damn.
He's so excited.
God damn.
He's so excited that she got called back and we're watching her in back-to-back seasons.
It's fucking making me not want Rizzo to win, and I like Rizzo. I'm like the only person on the internet that likes Rizzo nowadays. But that is that's how we start things. And honestly, like, there's not much that sticks out from this.
The big standout to me was watching Christian do his kind of maneuvering puzzle to get that, like, I think it was like the ore out of the,
they have to like it's like a slotted puzzle basically.
Yeah, and the first thing he does, he's running alongside and he goes bap, 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 all the way down it because it's these pegs that are in the middle and you have to move them to one side or the other. So he's looking at it like, oh, they're already all wrong, right? Because they're in the middle and you can't maneuver it around the middle position. It's either left or right. So he's going to go down and try to get at least 50% of them in the place that he needs them to be. And I was like, in the first 15 minutes of this show, I'm like, oh my God, Christian is so smart. He's so lovable.
We're going to try and stick to the script and the layout that we have, because there's a lot.
I'm sticking to it. I'm still in the challenge.
What I'm saying
it sounds like you're trying to tee yourself up to say something that's not in line.
Yes, exactly. I'm breaking my own show sheet here, because we're going to get to talking about each individual tribe and their camp. I fucking love Christian.
Oh yeah, he's great.
And I will admit that this is my first time meeting not everyone, but a decent size of this cast is a first go around for me. Mm-hmm. And like from the jump, I realized, I'm a big Christian guy. And like that, I'm guessing that's not a very hot take.
No, he was great in his
the
season,
most likable dude that like you've ever seen on TV.
Mm-hmm. And he was also in a very prominent duo as well. Kind of like they were both kind of like brainiacs.
Nice.
So
nice.
It was fun to watch him there. Glad he's back. And then we get into the cock off is what I like to call it.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. The who has the bigger cock in the rowing the boat, getting the torch. It's all the big guys.
Yeah.
What was it? Jonathan and Coach were together. You had Ozzy with Joe, and then you had Kyle and Colby.
Yeah, it was Kyle and Colby.
We have the biggest guys of the season out there trying to figure out whose cock is the biggest.
Beefing it up. At one point, it looks like the boats almost collide.
Yeah.
I mean, the adrenaline's kicked in, man.
And I was like, I'm just sitting there watching Coach with Jonathan. And I'm like, Coach, you don't even need to be on this boat. Jonathan could row it faster without you.
That dude's fucking enormous.
He holds like the Guinness World Record for, I think it was like pull-ups with 100 pounds on his back.
Dude, he's like, he might be bigger than like Drew McIntyre. He's definitely wider.
He's a big guy.
He's fucking huge.
I don't think there's an ounce of fat on him. No, that's wrong. It's in his brain.
Hey, there it is. Hey-o. Vatu wins this marooning challenge
by a landslide. Wasn't even close.
Yeah, so they get the bonfire back at their camp, and again, we'll go down each tribe in their camp. But first, we're jumping around a little differently than the way that the episode is formatted because
this
honestly,
is our show and we can do what we want.
I also think that this is the right way to do it. So hopefully, it's not too hard to follow along as the listener. I want to jump right into the supply challenge.
Fight for supplies.
So we each tribe volunteers a member to go off on this journey.
Again,
get off
just
on a boat.
Another dick comparison moment where I'm like, of course it's Ozzy, of course it's Coach, of course.
Right.
I mean, Q I think is the outlier here because he doesn't have the I was
Maybe
surprised
a little more humble.
Yeah. But honestly, I wasn't surprised. I was surprised it wasn't Colby or even Kyle. But yeah, they all go, and I think someone even says like, oh, Coach was first saying that he was going, and then it was Ozzy, and they're like, give the fans what they want.
Right. Kylo sends Coach, Sela sends Ozzy, Vatu sends Q. And yeah, we get right into Coach and Ozzy's history. And I do want to praise another thing. Like I like a lot about what we're doing this season. A lot of people have reached out to us on Instagram and text and wherever, our product is consumed, like, hey, what seasons do I need to watch as homework to get ready for Survivor 50? And so far, I think that you can dive right into this season without having to know the full history. Now, if you like doing supplemental work, go for it. But they are doing a great job of giving us pieces of history and in form of confessional and flashback when relevant, and kind of only when relevant. So it's just short bursts that I think gives really good context to any moment.
Yeah. And though Ozzy and Coach aren't on the same tribe, which I was a little shocked not to see them on because I think they like to drum up that conflict that already kind of exists. It was a production, whether it was deliberate by them and it wasn't as, schoolyard pick, if you will, or decide amongst yourself. Production was probably just so excited that Ozzy and Coach were on the same in the same fight for supplies challenge.
And this goes back to Survivor South Pacific specifically.
Yeah.
Like their main source of beef.
Either production orchestrated that whole thing or they are just loving the fact that it happened and they get to tell this story between the two of them which already creates some tension very early on in the episode. And
the context that I got is Coach made it to final 3 and Ozzy kind of fried him during the jury portion. And they really went back and forth towards each other. And then Coach ended up losing that season. And he actually admits here on Survivor 50 that he was like an incredibly sore loser. And
he kind of did Ozzy dirty. Yeah. And that's why Ozzy, when he was on jury, he was asking some like really pointed questions towards Coach that didn't paint Coach in a good light. And that basically flipped the jury on Coach. Like everyone thought Coach was winning that season. And then Ozzy kind of upended everything Coach had.
It's pretty impressive.
Yeah, I mean that just goes to show what kind of player Ozzy is. So, yeah, it was great to see them kind of have that nice moment of reconciliation, have this heart to heart, and meanwhile Q's just
chilling. It's awesome.
I guess mom and dad are back together. Kiss.
Also incredibly likable.
Do we get to have Christmases together again? Like,
not for long. The supply challenge, you each, all three of them race out to retrieve a bundle at the top of a pole, kind of a totem pole.
That I'm like, they know it. Again, production knew who was going to be in that challenge because Ozzy is known for.
He's like Tarzan.
Scaling things. Yeah. So there were footholds in that every like few feet. Ozzy doesn't need footholds. Ozzy will climb up vertically without anything. He is like a Philadelphia Eagles fan after they win the Super Bowl. He can climb up those light posts. Yeah. He's got it.
That's the first bundle. The second bundle is underneath a circle in the sand. So you got to dig out through the sand. And then the third bundle is out in the water. You have to swim out and take that bundle that is attached to a buoy. Inside these 3 bundles are a number of small strips of wood where you need to construct a pole out of this wood long enough to reach through this fence with pretty wide gaps, like probably like 2 by 2 or 1 by 1 gaps, to retrieve a key hanging on a post, on a ring. And so in the retrieval part of this challenge, Ozzy smokes them, as you said.
Oh, yeah.
Goes right up the pole, has an incredible head start,
You
digs
can't
right
touch
out.
him.
Yeah. He smokes them, but when he gets to the fence, his pole is incredibly top heavy, and he's basically having to like whip it, like this giant, like long ass bull whip to try and get his key off. And then Coach builds his to be more sturdy because he's watching Ozzy, but that cracks because like some of the wood got wet or something like that.
Yeah.
Turns out,
not sure what Q's doing this whole time.
but no one figures it out because we go 45 minutes and no one can knock down the key. Now, when I see something like this, if it goes that long, to me, this means that there is some point of strategy that no one has figured out. And now I can't think of what it would be in this situation, but I feel like when it goes that long, you have to take a step back. You have to look at what everyone has done and what you should do differently to try and get the edge.
I think really the thing that they should have done differently, obviously they probably didn't know it was going to go for 45 minutes, right? Who knew? But I think what you need to do is instead of tying the little sticks together all the way together at the end, you need to overlap them more.
Okay.
Like half a stick to half a stick.
Because
and keep going.
You can reach through that fence
as
far as you want.
You have, 3-4 feet
right.
of
so
your body that you can leverage
subtract,
as well.
3 feet or whatever from your pole and use that distance by sticking your entire shoulder through a hole in the fence.
But listen,
and maybe that gives you the structure to knock down the key.
You're probably trying to go as fast as you can. You don't know what the other people are doing. You don't know how well it's going to hold up. So you're just tying knots as fast as possible.
Oh, not even criticizing them.
Yeah.
This is just, this is for the playbook as we like to do on the show.
I think it's really interesting to watching Ozzy play this very quick game. He's like, let me try to get to the, wood tying part to then get the key. He's like, I need to get there fastest. Everyone else, maybe wasn't as gassed when they got there. And on the other side, you have Coach playing a more short game, literally and metaphorically.
Yeah, they're going for a little more of like a procedural bit. It's a little more structured. At one point, when we've gone this far, Ozzy announces, right? It is Ozzy. He says, "Hey, whoever, let's play like kind of let's use some sportsmanship here. Whoever knocks down the key, you can take it."
Because he's old and his back hurts, and I was just like, "Oh man,
the goat.
Oh man, his back hurts.
Depressing."
I'm like, buddy, you've been on the beach for 2 hours. Your back can't be hurting now.
So he says, "Yeah, whoever knocks it down, you can have the key." Ozzy finally hooks it. It drops down to the sand. And then Coach is the one who snags it on the ground, and he starts reeling it all the way in. This is when the tone shifts.
They're all kind of jumping down and scrambling and trying to...
They make it right in front of the fence. Everyone is just hacking away, trying to get it out of Coach's grasp. And then when he snags it through the fence, Ozzy jumps from the top rung of this fence to try and jump down and grab it off the ground
your knees,
before
old
Coach
man,
can get it.
your
It's
knees.
like, fuck, dude. Like, you're going to be injured.
I thought he almost had it there for a second, too.
He's like up there. That's got to be at least like 8. It looked like it was like 8 feet tall,
Yeah.
or at least maybe that's the way that they shot it, but pretty high. But Coach does snag it up, and now all of a sudden the idea of whatever sportsmanship Ozzy was trying to pitch is dead.
He thought...
Dead in the water.
Ozzy was mad because Coach didn't do what Ozzy thought was the right thing. Which I'm like, that is so egotistical.
What show are you on,
Yeah,
dude?
I'm like...
What season of what show are you on here? I mean, as Christian says later in the episode, you know all the history. You can't escape the history in this particular season of Survivor. So what the fuck did you expect? But Coach is the victor, so he gets to bring supplies back to the Kahlo tribe.
And then Survivor says, "Yo, Ozzy and Q, go get fucked."
Yeah, well, that's the thing is like for every unique reward or challenge, the punishment has got to be worse every time. Like you just got to think everything is amplified in this season. So yeah, you lose the supply challenge. Now you have to spend the night in exile on Exile Rose. I was Exile Rose on the Traders finale.
Exile.
Shout out Traders finale.
Which we didn't get a ton on Exile, and usually Exile is like a whole like bigger segment thing. They had things to get through.
I have to think that there is a whole second season of like there's enough shit in season 50 that could fill an entire another season of broadcast. Like on Peacock they have like the extended episodes of The Office. Where like instead of 22 minutes, whatever was the format on NBC, it's like all the deleted shit that they took out, they leave that in, and now those episodes are like 30, 35 minutes. I bet you that they could put that on Paramount Plus. You know what I mean? We're always trying to compete these two products.
I think that's what the hour and a half episode a week is.
Yeah, we do already get longer episodes. I just feel like there's so much that we're not going to see, but I know that it's all good.
Because they're out there for hundreds of hours over the course of almost a month, and we only really get to see 12 or 15 of those hours. So there's so much content that we're not seeing, so much just little nuances and looks people are giving each other that are making a big impact, that these people, when they, go do their press tour and promote the show and promote themselves or whatever, they always talk so much more deeply about, oh, well, you didn't see this or you didn't see that. And I'm like, I want to see it all.
Not much happens on Exile, though. And important to highlight that, like, at night, they got bugs crawling all over them. It looks like at one point, Q's trying to sleep standing up because he doesn't want shit crawling on him. However, you know what's way worse than bugs crawling all over you? Missing out on day one relationship building in the game. And that is by far the worst thing. Far worse than bugs, no food, no shelter. Missing out on those day one relationships, huge limitation or handicap to your game. But when they wake up, a boat arrives to the
finally
beach,
we get to go home.
And they get, there's one set of supplies. And now we have a transaction. One of them must buy the supplies with their vote for the next tribal, and the other will receive their vote as an extra that they can pocket and take to their next tribal.
No supplies, though, for them.
Right, no supplies. That's the trade-off. So Q gives the vote to Ozzy. He relinquishes his vote, and he takes the supplies back to the Vatu tribe.
Ozzy's trying to kind of manipulate him a little bit. He games it. And what I found interesting with Ozzy getting the extra vote, which I would think is the most valuable thing.
Well, that's what I wanted to ask you.
The more power you have in the game, the better. The better. Just pure and simple. Like, yeah, a pot, sure. But you know that you're probably going to get that very soon after in a different form or in another challenge, etc. That's what I would go for. But Q is happy that he got the supplies. He wants to come back to camp and be the hero. So I think truly, this goes to show that a truly well done negotiation is when both parties feel like they won. And both parties here felt like they won. That seems to be the
case, yeah. And I think Ozzy makes the pitch that he's like, you guys have a bonfire in your Flint. We don't have anything, so the supplies are useless to us. You take the supplies. And, he's not spending so much time on the fact that he wants the extra vote. But that's how it goes down. But I just want to make sure you believe that the correct answer is always to get the extra vote.
Yes, absolutely. Okay. Especially if it's, do you want something for your tribe or do you want something for yourself? You always take something for yourself because your tribe is the one that's going to be the one that votes you out.
So day 2, Ozzy has an extra vote in his pocket. And Q returns to camp with supplies. Let's follow Q to the Vatu camp. Alongside Q, we have Rizzo from season 49. We have Stephanie, Colby, Genevieve, Aubrey, and Kyle. Am I missing anyone? Angelina. Goddamn. Okay. Yes. And one of the first things we get at the Vatu camp is Colby in a confessional saying, Rizzo's annoying as hell. And dude,
I'm like, yes, Colby. I was sitting there and I was like, yeah, Colby. Calling it like it is.
In case you missed our full recap of Survivor 49, it's all available in our backlog.
That's where you should start.
But I have always defended Rizzo, and I remain to be a Rizzo fan, even though most of the internet is not. And I know especially the old heads do not like the way that Rizzo plays the game. But going into, gameplay aside, a lot of people are just turned off by his personality. And here's what I'll say about Rizzo is that I watch him and I believe that he is being 100% authentic. That is just who that guy is. And when someone is not performing, they're not putting on a show like that at their core, that's who they are. I fuck with that. Like I always fuck with that. And when you are just this fucking loud, obnoxious, goofy person who maybe has a podcast in his future, I have to I relate and I root so hard for the kid. The kid, he's 5 years younger than we are, but he is a child out there compared to a lot of these other people. So
I find him taxing.
Fair. I am a Rizzo guy. Riz God. RIZGOD. Riz God, baby. Notice that we didn't get as much of that this season. I think production learned their lesson and said, let's shy away from the hardcore Gen Z talk. I don't know if we're going to be doing peak cinema and a lot of these other bits that we were running in season 49.
Well, Riz God wasn't Riz Godding because he was like,
dude, he's so excited.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing is like, and we should point out 2 weeks off between
It's
49
insane.
and 50. Like Rizzo went back to New York for maybe 7 days before he had to go back to Fiji.
And I think this is a very interesting point because it's both an advantage and a disadvantage to both him and Savannah. An advantage because these other 22 players have no idea what kind of player Rizzo and Savannah are because they haven't seen that season 49 at this point.
Yes.
The Survivor production editing team has barely seen Survivor 49 before they go and shoot Survivor 50, right? So probably even the edit on them hasn't fully formed yet. So even production might not know how to structure the edit between season to season at this point. Advantage for them because they can tell whatever story they want to tell. And we can get into what Savannah says.
I'd like to put a pin in that.
Yeah, we can get into what Savannah says later. But I think, you can inflate or deflate your game as much as possible. Obviously, you can't bullshit too much because you had to have done something to get here, right? And they all kind of know that. But the extreme and obvious disadvantages is you've only been out of the game for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Guess what?
Fucking tired.
Guess what? No one knows who you are. No one knows who you are.
Yeah.
You are someone off the street. Ozzy walks in, everyone in the room knows who Ozzy is.
Sure.
Right? Everyone knows him, what he's like. I want to work with you. I don't want to work with you. I know exactly who you are, so I know how we can flow together. They know nothing about them. Another disadvantage is the fact that they haven't eaten. They've just been starved for 30 days. They've eaten for like 2 weeks. There's no downtime.
There's no recovery.
There's no recovery. You're still there. They probably lost X amount of weight, X amount of percentage of their entire body. Typically, I think people will lose anywhere from like 10 to 20 pounds, depending on how long they're out there. So they're probably just trying to fix the malnutrition, and now they're back in it over again.
I've had hangovers last longer than probably the amount of time that Rizzo got to actually recover his body.
Yeah,
before returning to the beach.
That and their mind too. Their mind. I mean, it might be, depending on how you look at it, could be an advantage because they're the most fresh. They've just played a game, so they're ready to go play another game.
Frosty.
Their mind's on it, but at the same time, their mind's probably exhausted too. Like, I was just in fight or flight mode for 30 days and now I'm right back in this scenario.
Well, because Rizzo was in jury. So, and he was the last to go to jury. He lost in fire. So he was in the shit about just as long as Savannah was and just as long as anyone can be in that game. Like he never went back to Ponderosa for the hotel and the 3 hots and all that bullshit. So,
and they don't have the luxury of any pre-game talk because it happens, right? Your buddy from Survivor season, whatever, is going to be on 50. You're probably going to be in their DMs, be like, hey, dude, work together.
Why not?
You see.
We'll get to that.
Yeah.
But that was a criticism.
There's some talk about the pre-game stuff that went down.
We criticized this on our coverage of 49, where we're like, well, if the cast has already been announced, then how does this not happen? Yeah. Right? Like, how do you prevent that? Can you prevent that? Or are we just producing the show acknowledging that that's going to happen because, well, I'll save that for the end because we're going to talk a little bit more
because
about
it
the
directly
idea.
relates to Jenna going home.
Right.
She has some gripes with some of that stuff, and she talks a little bit about it in some of her post beat game interviews.
Kyle, winner of season 48.
Hell yeah.
We love Kyle. He immediately starts building with Colby, with Stephanie, and with Genevieve, kind of all separately. And you can tell that he has, plans to maybe form this into a group. But Kyle plays exactly how I would hope that I play if I'm on Survivor. I'm not going to say that I'm as good as Kyle because I think he's an amazing player. Really grabbed my attention, got me into this show on a deeper level, I would say. Watching Kyle and Camilla together, amazing, but specifically watching Kyle, a guy that like I truly like kind of connected to as a viewer at home. And then speaking of Genevieve, Aubrey approaches Genevieve about working as a duo, and it very quickly goes south.
It feels hostile.
Kind of immediately, she asks if they want to be a duo, and Genevieve kind of like blue screens for a second, and then looks at her like, the fuck did you... Like, you would have thought that she called Genevieve a slur.
Yeah.
The reaction is harsh.
Genevieve is known for being a little bit of a... I don't want to say... We use the term mean girl for Savannah.
Yeah.
And I don't think she's quite Savannah. Although I feel like the two of them together, it would either be a match made in heaven or oil and water. Okay. And no in between.
Interesting.
Genevieve was someone who, in her season, I wanted to see more of. She kind of reminded me of Parvati a little bit. She's got that, like, allure to her that, like, you kind of get drawn in, but she's a little evil. She got a little something going on under there, and, like, she's conniving. So Aubrey is so smart. She is kind of up there with, I'd say, Christian as well, with like the smarts. But Aubrey's really this like well-rounded player. Like she kind of does it all. Like actually physical. Like, if you look at someone like Stephanie, you're going to be like, oh, she's going to kill every single challenge because she's built like a fucking goddamn horse or whatever. But Aubrey's actually she performs very well in challenges in multiple different ways. So she's a huge threat as well. So you basically have these two huge threats sizing each other up, being like, work together?
Maybe.
I don't think so.
Kyle chats up Q when Q gets back to camp with their supplies. He asks him to vibe check Genevieve. So this is kind of like maybe the foundation of a trio here. Mm-hmm. And this is when Q, which I think smart move, Q tells Kyle that he has no vote. Which,
rewind a little bit, he does tell the entire tribe that he didn't get anything.
Right. But
he lies how he got the supplies.
Exactly. And he shares with Kyle that he doesn't have a vote whenever they go into tribal. Builds trust. All right, now we can work as, number ones, or at least very closely together, closer than other players, on this beach in case we have to go to tribal tomorrow or tonight, I guess in this case. We also have, speaking back to Rizzo and Colby calling Rizzo annoying as hell, we see Rizzo narrating a camp fashion show. And this is referencing Q lore.
Yes. And this is where, because you didn't know about the Q lore. And I was like, oh, Q skirt. And you're like, excuse me?
Like, what the fuck?
What the fuck is she saying? So basically, Q on his season went senile on the island. Okay. And he's kind of this funny, witty guy. He kind of comes off as a little like stoic sometimes, and like has like a very sarcastic or like stale delivery, sometimes dry. Yeah. And but he's like one of the funniest people. And he, on his season, he would tie his hoodie he had on like backwards, and he'd walk around, he'd call it the Q skirt, and he'd like put things in the hoodie thing. It was like this whole funny, it was basically Castaway. Oh my gosh. Tom Hanks. Yeah, with the coconut. It was Q and his Q skirt. Similar vibes. I thought we were going to get a fashion show and rewind back to Q skirt on his season, like a little flashback to that. We didn't get that. I was sitting there, I was like, oh, you're going to see it. I was like, oh my, now I'm going to have to explain it to him. And I sound like a crazy person explaining the Q skirt.
By the way, Q skirt, the movie, better movie than Castaway. I guarantee. I fucking hate Castaway
But
and Wilson the volleyball.
with the other flashbacks that they've done so far, I was fully expecting that. Again, I would have taken about 12 seconds less from the beginning where we're bullshitting on the before the marooning challenge to get a little funny Q-skirt video.
Less of what specifically?
Don't make me say it.
Less of what?
Less of Jeff. Don't make
You thought. You fucking thought.
I just a little bit. I love Jeff. I love Jeff. You know?
Yeah. You know who else loves Jeff? Jeff.
I know. Jeff do be loving Jeff. But while we're there talking about Rizzo, I want to point out too how I think Colby was like going around like doing all this heavy lifting, getting, you know, the camp set up and everything. And Rizzo's over there. He's like, you know, that's just not how the game's played nowadays, old man. And I'm like,
I know.
I'm like, Rizzo, you're making my skin crawl. Please stop. Please.
I'm not saying that he's right.
It hurts.
But
it hurts me.
I know that he thinks that he's doing right.
It's genuine.
I know.
Genuine. And that's why it like hurts a little bit more. If he was in his confessionals like, yeah, I knew Colby wasn't going to like that. So I'm just like trying to get under his skin just a little bit. I'd be like, hell
but,
yeah,
like,
brother.
I don't even think that it's like cockiness so
No,
much
it's
as like,
not.
he's just like, he just lived out his dream of playing on Survivor. And now he's in Survivor.
He played it
he's
so
in,
well, he
he's
gets
in
a call
the
back.
ultimate version.
I know.
The historic moment of Survivor with all of the people that he grew up watching. He's trying to fit in, what he's trying to do.
I need him to get it together, though.
Yeah.
Like, he needs to get it together.
Well, and I'm so glad you brought that up because during, this fashion show, Rizzo is making Colby laugh.
Well, before that, Colby is saying in a confessional that Rizzo is a liability to him and Stephanie because Colby and Stephanie kind of have a thing going on as far as like an alliance. And then he says Rizzo is a liability to the entire tribe. That's how much.
And it sounds like he doesn't get into any more detail, but it sounds like it's because of the age gap and kind of the attitude, the difference in attitude, right?
I don't know what he meant by that, but I was like, yeah, because if you knew he held out an idol in the open for damn near 8 tribals and waved it in everyone's faces, Colby would be pissed.
That is a key trait of Rizzo's Survivor resume that we should point out is that he had an idol and very early on everyone knew that he had it, so he just started waving it around at every tribal and he started doing wacky bits. He would pretend to play it. He played a fake idol just to like fucking just to mess with people.
He was on the chopping block every single time
yes.
too. His name didn't not come up every single tribal, and people were like, well, he's gonna play his idol, and then that he rode that until the very end, pretty much. And I was like, oh my God.
But then we see Colby soften on Rizzo.
Because Rizzo said...
Well, hang on.
His dad's 47, Matt. His dad is 47.
Right. This is where we differ. Whenever Rizzo starts talking about his family, I'm like, oh, fuck, dude. Come on. I'm like, hell yeah.
We just went through a whole season. He loves his family.
But again, so genuine. Like, this is his life. His life is Survivor and his Albanian parents that work as custodians in the Bronx. And when he's not just talking to bullshit. Like, you can tell, like, this is his whole world. Like, I think his whole world is small. It is just like these core things that he is like so deeply passionate about. Yes, and he has a girlfriend, and I think he likes the Knicks. But yes, he tells Colby offers him guidance. Colby tells the camera, I was 25 when I first played Survivor. And I know that I acted differently.
As old as Rizzo's dad. He's crying for other reasons.
That's right. And he goes to Rizzo and he offers guidance and mentorship. And yes, that's when Rizzo says, it's like I'm talking to my dad right now. And it was well documented on 49 how hard it was for him to be away from his family.
Which I'm always a little wary of when people say like, oh, you remind me of like a maternal or paternal figure. Because you had on last season, 49, you had Alex going up to Annie and saying, oh yeah, like, I work on the hill and with all these like people, and you remind me. And she's like, she cut him off. She's like, do not tell me that I remind you of your mother.
Also,
and
you're about to tell the punk rocker that she reminds you of your fucking congresswoman boss or whatever world he came from.
I was like,
bad read.
Her specifically, Annie, she like quit her day job and is like, I'm going to go write music and like stand on bars semi-nude and shake my stuff around. And she's got a great body, by the way.
Shout out.
Yeah.
That is about all we have for Vatu Camp before we get to the immunity challenge.
The one thing I'll leave Vatu with is, and I think this kind of speaks to your, I would guess speaks to your reason why you love Kyle so much, is
he's very handsome.
Yes.
Kyle looks like a fucking movie star this season, by the way.
He's also caked up.
Yeah.
You like that, you like that cake.
Dude has been in the gym since he left
Matt
Fiji.
likes the cake. Matt has cake, so he likes the cake.
Ice cream cake, baby.
Right. So Kyle says something that I was like, I think this is why Matt likes him so much. He said,
I love backdoors and blind sides.
No, he says that Survivor is not chess and it's not poker. It's people.
Yes. That's exactly why I like Kyle.
Because I think so often, even in like Big Brother, they have the chessboard out as like a symbol for players to, play and like have it
we
be
saw a little bit of
metaphor.
It's used in traders a lot too.
Yeah, but like the idea of chess and poker within these types of reality TV games is prevalent. And he goes, it's not that. It's people. And I can play, and basically is saying, I can play the people. You don't have to play chess. You don't have to play poker. I'm playing people.
That's my kind of game.
Yeah.
And you're right. That is why I admire Kyle's playing style so much. Kindred spirit is how I look at Kyle. Let's move on to Kahlo Camp, which is D, Jonathan, Camilla, Tiffany, Charlie, Chrissy, Mike White, and Coach.
And the secret 9th, 10th, and 11th player, all of Jonathan's limbs.
Hey, how about the other 2.5 players? Mike White's abs.
Oh,
what the fuck was that?
Internet popping off about Mike White's abs.
What was that?
He takes his shirt off. He fucking knows.
He's so proud.
He fucking knows.
It rocks.
He's like, I've been waiting for this moment. Let me take my shirt off. Who wants to wash their clothes, wash their dirty, nasty clothes from the marooning challenge on my washboard abs?
It's Ned Schneebly with his abs on the beach, and god damn it rocks. So stoked for him. Obviously has, I think, become more famous than ever, not just because of Survivor, but because of The White Lotus, which is a show that we haven't actually watched.
We haven't.
But I feel like doing a White Lotus recap would just be,
Do you want to hear the actual notes that I wrote down for Mike, specifically for this episode? Mike White has a 6-pack. Mike externalizes his strategy to Charlie and employs D to be his hygiene coach. He's already running Survivor like he would a production set. He goes, Charlie, you're my external brain, and D, you're making sure I look good on this show.
But how fucking cool is that?
It's funny. It's hilarious.
How many people can? That's such a unique, background. He comes from film and television. He's been in Hollywood his whole life.
This is the thing. I like Mike White. Don't get me wrong. I don't think he should be on this show.
Why?
Because this man is way too famous to be on Survivor at this point.
But do you think they brought him back because of how famous he is now?
No. Yes. But the issue that I take with it, we want to have all these pre-game alliances or people favoring certain people because they're just friends with them and they've known them for a decade and go to these watch parties together and stuff like that. Talk about external sway and influence. After Mike's season of being on Survivor, he started casting people from his season of Survivor that he met and liked.
Oh, that's right.
Yes, on White Lotus. So if I'm on a tribe with him, I'm trying to butter him up, baby. I'm not looking at the here and now. Cool, I'm on Survivor 50. What's my next thing after this? Schmoozing up to Mike White, making sure Mike White likes me so he'll cast me in his next season of The White Lotus or whatever else he does that's genius.
Wouldn't be hard because all I would do is talk to him about School of Rock.
I know.
I think he wrote School of Rock.
But yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like there's a one-to-one connection. He is literally casting people that he has played with. He has set the precedent of that. So I'm like, of course people are going to love Mike White because they want Mike White to love them.
Do we?
I want Mike White to love me.
I'm not a satanic sex god anymore. I'm a substitute teacher. We might have to do a one-off on School of Rock on this show. one of my favorite movies ever. Seen it a million
But
times.
I do love too when he's talking to Dee, he goes, "Nice chompers.
Yeah.
Are those real?" She goes, "No."
Fuck no.
Which I think veneers being in, I mean, Dee's from Challenge. Yes, she's from Survivor. She got her start at Survivor, but she's in Challenge.
She's been around Challenge for a while now.
Well, you love Dee. Why do you love Dee?
I think she's an amazing player. And
Well, no, Dee was dating your boyfriend.
Oh, I thought you were just talking about how hot she is. Yes, Dee is she currently with or has been or was?
I don't know if it's current or not.
Dee's trifled with Johnny Bananas.
Mr. Bananas.
Who's my guy.
Matt loves Johnny
I
Bananas.
fucking love Johnny Bananas so much.
She linked up with Johnny Bananas. So Dee is, I think, one of the scariest people on the beach, just in general, with how she's played. She has the Challenge background. They're way more cutthroat over there.
Yeah, the Challenge gets nasty.
They also do way more like Survivor's very physical of a game, but Challenge is like,
it's kind of defined by the physicality.
Yeah, and there may be like, there's always some multiple catastrophic injuries.
Yeah, dude, that show is so dangerous.
Oh,
People
yeah.
get fucked up on the Challenge.
People's knees are going that way. People are dislocating their entire arm. You know how many arms I've seen just hang down by someone's fucking waist being dislocated? I mean, the worst is still, not to super digress, but the worst is Olivia's when she is pulling, they love to show it too. They love to show it. She's pulling back a slingshot.
A slingshot with a golf ball or something?
Yeah, and the golf ball flips back around and just nails her in between her eyes. She's had reconstructive surgery and nose job because of it. It was one of the blood going everywhere. One of the most horrific things.
For those at home, if you're interested, it's pretty easy to find. Look up Olivia the Challenge injury. It's probably the first hit on Google once you search Olivia the Challenge.
Yeah.
Gnarly shit.
Yeah, but back to my point that I was making is Dee's chompers. Everyone on the Challenge gets veneers. Everyone. It's just what it is. You're on TV. You want your smile to look nice.
Yeah.
But everyone acts
the
like
Roman Reigns effect.
Yeah, everyone acts like that. It's their teeth. These are the teeth. No. Those things are drilled into your head, baby. So it was so funny to see Dee just be like, no, these aren't my teeth.
Mike wants to be the vibe king, and that's his strategy, right? He just wants to make everyone laugh. He wants to be the guy that everyone likes having around. A great role for him because you can be as strategic as you want under the guise of just being the clown.
Just here to have a good time.
Clown.
I don't need the money. I'm just here to have a good time.
Right? And that's like, he could actually get away with saying that. He's like, yeah, I write for HBO. I'm rich. I'm good. 3 seasons and
if you
counting,
mess
baby.
with his vibe, Daddy's gonna come for you.
I did a show with He's like, I have Christopher Moltisanti's phone number. I don't care about anything else. He can just sell that. And I'd fucking buy it if I was on the beach with him.
Oh yeah, you'd be his little puppy dog.
Shout out, absolutely. Shout out Mike. Coach obviously gets the hero's welcome as he returns with the supplies
and Charlie
that he won.
Gets Coach's toe ring.
Yeah, what the fuck?
It's so gross.
Coach is gross, dude.
It's
just like, ugh.
Talk about cringe. People love Coach. I find him very cringe.
I think he's all right.
And for some of the same reasons, I find Rizzo cringe. And I don't know what that overlap is quite yet. Maybe I'll see as they continue. And maybe they will be on a tribe together.
Well, I think that's an interesting comparison because so far, the criticism of Coach that I see is that he does put on an act. And he does feign this idea of integrity and of sportsmanship, but like he doesn't actually live by that. It's just how he tries to present himself. So
it's the dragon slaying stuff.
You could argue that Coach is inauthentic, and maybe Coach fans will be mad hearing that. But like compared to Rizzo, I'm sure that triggers people. By the way, comparing authenticity of Coach versus Rizzo, old heads versus young bucks. Jonathan goes to work with Mike and Coach after doing yoga on the beach together. He proclaims that he wants to work with the old heads in his camp.
Well, he also proclaims, he says, quote, "People told me that I was the most physical and dominant person in Survivor." I'm like, Sounds like you just told yourself that, Jonathan. It sounds like you were just jerking yourself off, but you couldn't say that about yourself, so you had to make it sound less bad and be like, oh, well, like everyone says this about me.
Yeah. Seems like Jonathan loves some Jonathan the way Jeff loves Jeff.
Do not compare the two.
No, of course not.
We do not like Jonathan.
Arrogance.
Jonathan.
Jeff, it's earned.
Jonathan he has been called misogynistic and has a little bit of racism stuff sprinkled in there too. So, we don't like Jonathan. So if you're at home liking Jonathan, why don't you look up some of his controversies and understand why we don't like Jonathan and why Jonathan maybe shouldn't have been on Survivor 50.
Trouble in the waters.
Yeah, and while we're on it too, I'll just rewind to Vatu. We don't like Stephanie either.
Dude, Stephanie is in some hot shit
Stephanie,
as of the last week. We don't have to get into the gory details, but Stephanie is causing fucking problems for herself in the real world.
Yeah, she's like she's just spewing anti-Semitism rhetoric towards another Survivor former player.
Bro, you're not gaining
She's
anything
on video.
from this.
She looks hella drunk. She ends the video, the like one that I'm talking about. She like pauses and then like gets real close and goes, "Bitch," to the person she's directing the video to.
Do you not have
the former player?
One person in your life to grab you by the collar and be like, "Stop it.
It was giving.
This is a bad idea."
It was giving like cringe Britney Spears on Instagram. That like I need her to reel in. We like. Historically, I was a huge Stephanie fan. She was known for, like, early on in Survivor, they didn't have all these merges, all these tribe swaps, all these like reconfigurations. She was the last person standing on her tribe. And after the final tribal council she was in, Jeff was like, all right, go back to your camp. She was on an island by herself.
Completely alone.
She showed up to the next challenge. Sick. And yeah, like a true badass. But now she's just a bitch. So... Anyways,
that's all the gory details of some of these cast members.
Back to Gallo.
Jonathan starts pushing D. Makes sense. D is clearly a physical threat.
Remember what I said?
Sure.
A little bit of misogyny.
Maybe a little I hate women.
Of course, the big, strong Jason Momoa looking guy is gonna come in there and like pick the hottest, strongest girl to go after because his fragile male ego can't stand that someone could be better than him. So he has to go for her. I'm like, how about we fucking work together?
Well, that's what I was going to say.
You can work with her.
First time that I'm going to say this over a couple different times in this episode, we see a lot of people just kind of find their threat right away and be like, this is my threat, they have to go. Instead of thinking, wow, we could run this shit if we work together. And I see that happen, I think, almost at every tribe. Camp.
Yeah.
Every tribe in this season, which I think it's a beautiful thing too, because that is Survivor 50. Yeah. You've got these huge egos because of all of the history.
But listen, it could have been Mike. It could have been Charlie. It could have maybe been Coach. But specifically, Jonathan coming for D is giving like, I'm afraid of a strong woman. And I'm like, I don't fuck with that. Speaking of strong women, D is trying to link up with Camilla and Tiffany as kind of this threesome. They don't really fuck with Chrissy.
It's kind of a killer alliance.
Oh, hell yeah. Hell yeah.
And as you said, Tiffany starts pushing Chrissy as a potential vote if they go to tribal that night. Let's get through Sela Camp before we move on to the immunity challenge. Sela Camp, the orange tribe, is Christian, Joe, Savannah, Cirie, shout out, my favorite, Jenna, Emily, Rick Devens, and Ozzy. Let's start with Savannah, as she often likes
little girly pop over here.
The show to go, starting with Savannah.
She do be liking it starting with her.
Dude, she cannot help but tell her entire tribe that she won her season of Survivor 50 2 weeks ago. The one edge that you would have that no one else on this beach has. No one else in this entire game would have this edge. Keeping the secret that you won your season.
Hey guys. You want to guess how I did? You want to guess? I won. I won the Survivor.
The worst. Just, of course. And you know, dude, like, she's gonna get eaten alive. I think that she's gonna fucking
Really?
burn. I think
so?
she's gonna flame out. Dude, she is playing with the goats. She walked all over the 49 cast. No one had an edge on Savannah last season.
I'm just picturing like Cirie and Ozzy teaming up together and treating it like Drake and Josh with their little sister Megan.
Yeah.
And like they're just calling her a little girl.
A little girl.
Yeah.
Dude. Yeah, okay. I mean, I'm going to try and not just like harp on it, but Savannah sucks. Intensely unlikable. One of the most unlikable players I think I've ever seen on Survivor.
Do we think it's a dumb idea that she like told him that she like, do you think it was, unavoidable? Like Rizzo would have her back. I don't know that he'd be going around spreading that she won, especially if they know that they're both getting called back for 50. She could have immediately went to Rizzo, like, as credits are rolling and be like, don't you fucking say a word to anybody about me winning. And they could have played off that like, oh, we were like rivals and, we were going against each other and that's why they brought us both back because like we stirred up a whole lot of drama between the two of us. Meanwhile, like she won and they're best buds.
Zero charisma. Intensely unlikable. Hate it. Fucking hate it.
I love that we both don't like their duo for different reasons.
Yeah. I hate that Rizzo, I mean, in that context, right? Rizzo and Savannah were kind of an inseparable duo that went to the final
inseparable trio.
Well, yeah.
But I feel like they were more of the duo within the trio.
They ran deeper than their trio with Soph, and ultimately they faced each other in fire to decide who went to the final three at the end of their season because they did not want to go against each other in the strategic side of the play. Jenna.
Who?
One of the I'm so glad you asked. Jenna, our returning player from the very first season of Survivor 25 years ago.
Like I know her because she is Legend Woman. I was like an infant when like a toddler.
But some people, some people who listen. I know, but I'm just saying, like my knowledge of her is lesser because it was I did not catch up. And that's not. You can't be faulted as a host for not knowing much about Jenna because the entire audience doesn't seem to know much about Jenna. We don't give any context besides the fact that she was on the first season. Like there's no, this is what it meant for her. This is how her, her gameplay could be studied as the first, formula that could still be used throughout the course of the show or how it's evolved from the show. We don't really get any of that context from her.
Well, the only context we get is she immediately jumps on Cirie as a target.
Right.
And
strike one.
Well,
for Matt.
Matt's a big Cirie fan.
I love Cirie.
He loves Cirie. So if you're ranking the players based on our preferences, Savannah at bottom, Cirie at top for Matt.
Yes.
That's his scale. Everyone else falls somewhere in between. But she immediately goes for Cirie and is talking the camp up saying Cirie, which I love Cirie. Don't get me wrong. I was applauding Jenna in this moment because I said it. So Cirie was on Big Brother recently. She was also on Cirie was on Big Brother with her son secretly. They did not know that it was her son playing the game with him. They made it very far.
She went to like final 5 or 6 at least.
But like everyone knew who Cirie was. They knew she was Survivor Legend.
That was Jag's season.
Yeah. And then she went on to play Traitors and she won.
By herself.
Much like Rob Roush, baby.
Yes.
So Rob Roush from the most recent season of Traitors is now rivaling Cirie as one of the best traitors, if that gives you any context of who he is. So Jenna says that if you give Cirie an inch in this game, she will take a mile. I'm like, girl, yes.
It's so true.
Because if I'm on the beach, you have to get Cirie out first. You have to. In order to get a leg up in the game. Listen, Cirie is like a poisonous gas. Like, you're like, oh, I feel fine. I feel good. I feel a little dizzy right now. Dead. She's got you.
Mm-hmm.
And she permeates and she gets in the shit and just, she's not a threat because she's your companion and your counterpart and your friend. And all of a sudden, Cirie's winning this game.
But it's never actually gone that far, right? A lot of people, I think you were the first one to tell me, and I've seen this been thrown around, that Cirie is the greatest player to never win.
But she's won other things, and she's been on a lot of things.
Yes.
She has probably one of the biggest repertoires or biggest history of being on these reality TV games than anyone else there. Just looking through the cast one more time. There is not someone more decorated than Cirie with the amount of shows that she has been on.
And dude, you want to talk about
the time she has spent on those shows? Because it's not like Cirie gets out first.
No.
Cirie makes it deep into the game.
Yes. And you want to talk about charisma. Like, even just for the viewer at home, you're just like, oh yeah, hell yeah, this rocks. Yeah. So no, and that's the unbiased take is, of course, Jenna would be targeting Cirie. You have to. In this situation. Because
I'm looking at everyone, it's like, if you're not getting Cirie and Ozzy out first, y'all are pretty dumb. Y'all are pretty dumb.
You deserve to go home.
You've got Christian, and he accounts for about 90% of the intelligence on that team, with just how smart this man, I think someone says it in the episode, like, he is actually a genius. He's like a fucking rocket scientist or some shit. Like, he has papers published, like, he is a mastermind of a intellect. So if we're not getting Cirie out first, then that's going to be a problem. And here I gave you earlier what who said it? Oh, I gave you my notes about Mike White. I'm going to give you my notes about Ozzy. Ozzy is old and has back problems. Ozzy is not playing as Ozzy. Ozzy is playing as Oscar.
Yeah?
That's what my notes on Ozzy.
Explain.
That's just what he said. He was like, I'm not playing as Ozzy. I'm playing as Oscar. I'm more mature. I'm more
2.0.
2.0. Which, growing up, I loved Ozzy. Like,
yes.
Like, I had an affinity towards Ozzy. I love a dark featured man with long curly hair. He's old now and he has back problems. That's all I got to say. Oscar and his back problems.
Christian, speaking of, links up with Rick Devens. Fast friends, fast number ones, clearly.
Dangerous.
He calls Rick Devens the idle hound, just known for scooping him up as he goes around. So a good ally to have. Devens recruits Emily Flippin.
Which this makes complete sense as well to me, the three of them together, because again, Christian, like I mentioned before, had another like very smart woman as his counterpart in his season, and I think Emily is kind of that smart woman counterpart. Like, she's like some fucking financial advisor or some shit. Yeah,
she's wicked smart.
Yeah,
also local to our area.
She is,
I think.
Well, she was at the Baltimore Idol Hunt.
Right, and we will recap our experience in the Baltimore Idol Hunt on the next episode when we're recapping 90 minutes of television instead of 3 fucking hours. Yeah, just Jeff, like this podcast.
Jeff, I was getting a little sleepy during it, so I'm trying to make sure that this is as concise as possible via podcast format. But
important to note, no supplies or flint at Camp Sela.
No. We also have Devens wanting to work with Cirie a little bit, and he's the one who tells Cirie, girl, not maybe looking good for you because Jenna's coming for you. She's throwing your name out, and you do not want your name being thrown out, because a lot of times that happens. What happens on Survivor is someone's name gets thrown out on the first day, and everyone's like, well, I don't want to be the first one home, so
okay,
sure.
Great, easy. Yeah. It's the easiest vote of the entire season.
Right, that someone's throwing a name out. Okay, cool. I don't want to be first.
No allies.
There's nerves.
No one to burn.
Right. Then we also get at camp Christian making fire with his glasses.
This was fucking incredible.
This is old school Survivor to its finest. Like, this has been done before on Survivor. It doesn't happen very often or in every season, but he has like 4 people's glasses all lined up. And
he's talking about certain glasses are curved and they'll make for better
convex and
they'll make for better magnifying glasses. Crazy.
And he brings them fire. Amazing.
Yeah, and that's a first. I think they said it was like a first for Survivor. Like we haven't seen people do that in that particular method before, making fire with glasses.
No, they have.
Oh,
That's what I just said.
No, he said he's never done it
He's
before.
never done it before.
Right.
Yeah.
And then we get in that same confessional a very prideful moment for him, obviously, and just so sick to watch. Also, great way to get over with your tribe. Like, you're the guy that made fire with no flint on day one.
Rizzo's dad is 47, and Christian's kid is going to see this one day.
Yes, we get a little teary-eyed as Christian reveals to
My
only
son
the
will
viewers.
see this.
Yes,
My son will see this one day.
His son was born 6 weeks ago to, I guess, the taping of this.
It's a secret
and
weapon.
he's not telling anyone.
Why? I don't really understand this.
Maybe he doesn't want to be
Secret
he doesn't want to be viewed as compromised, right? Like he doesn't want to be viewed as vulnerable and then become an easy target.
I think he needs vulnerability in this game because people see him as just this like smart guy.
So fucking smart, dude.
Yeah, like
and
add some human to you a little bit.
and very quickly he kind of falls into a leadership role on this
Oh
tribe.
yeah, oh yeah. This is Christian's tribe.
Last thing I have on the Sealer camp before we get to the immunity challenge, goddamn, is that Cirie and Ozzy are number ones. They come to each other very quickly.
Hell yeah.
Makes the most sense. Why?
I like it.
Guess what? Oh,
I like
instead
it.
of looking at your biggest threat, they become your biggest ally, and now you can run this shit together. That's how you do it on Survivor. How you like that?
Yeah, and they're dynamic, right?
Yeah.
A true dynamic duo. Like he needs the support of her politicking. You talk a lot about politicking, that word in the challenge.
Yeah.
And
Because he's got a lot of heat on him.
right, he has a lot of heat on him. And like everyone's like, he's Ozzy. He's this comp beast. He climbs palm trees for fun, scales them without trouble, right? So he needs someone to help him do some of the social work.
And
that is Cirie.
he shares with her that he has an extra vote.
Yes, he does.
Immediate bonding tactic. Now we trust each other. Let's get to the immunity challenge. Jeff, he's back. Hey everyone, it's Jeff. He reveals the idols, which look sick as fuck. We have
hella sick.
gold and silver phoenix statues. Beautiful. They're giant too. The winner of this challenge, the gold, if you will, gets a fishing kit, and the silver medalist, second place, gets a smaller kit. Here's the challenge. It's a team race. You go up and over the rope net ramp, and then pairs dive into mud nets. Meg says, I hate the mud nets.
I hate the mud nets. And listen, if you're going to have a mud net, at least have Carol in there. Like, girl. Like, Carolyn was famous for getting stuck in the mud net. And, like, she's so wrapped up in there that, like, she couldn't move anymore. She was stuck in mud for the entire challenge. And her team had to come back and, like, unravel her from the net.
That's brutal.
Yeah, it looked like it sucked.
That sounds like my worst fucking nightmare, honestly. Once they all get through the mud net, they must roll a cage full of coconuts, both bagged up and loose rolling coconuts, to a certain finish line. Then they untie the cage door and they jump in the cage to unload the cargo. You have to throw these coconuts into a raised net, kind of like a basketball hoop, until a weight drops that drops a wooden crate that breaks, containing a monkey's fist used to pull down a wall. The team has to scale this wall together to get up to a platform to complete a 50-piece puzzle.
That's it?
That's it. That's all you got to do.
Nothing else?
It's not that hard. Right off the bat, I noticed something that you point out is also a piece of reputation and history. Q is killer at sinking coconuts.
Oh yeah, I saw Q stepping up. I was like, oh, Q's gonna crush this. He is just like a fucking weapon with those coconuts.
Knocks it down. I think he shoots 3 and he makes all 3.
Oh
and
yeah,
then boom.
he keeps going. I don't think he missed one. But something that I thought was hilarious. Every time someone like passes a certain point, Jeff's just going, "You're good. You're good. This person, you're good." And honestly, I wish I had a little Jeff behind me every time I completed a silly little task.
Yeah.
You know? Like I make coffee and he's like, "You're good." I'm like, "Yeah, thanks. I did just do that."
I wash my hands after taking a leak. You're good. Get back out there.
Yeah, that would be great. If he wants to like hit me on my bum too. You know, like,
on your bum?
Yeah, like
what the fuck is it? You've never said that in your life.
like a sports coach, you know, in baseball.
Yeah, you smack.
You know, they do a little smack.
Go get him, kid.
Yeah, go get him.
Hit me on my bum.
Yeah.
Who the fuck are you?
No, he's not gonna smack. Jeff's not gonna smack ass.
No, you don't think so?
Nah,
You think Jeff smacks ass?
No. It's like in a coach way, not like coach on Survivor, but like a sports coach. Sorry, I just fucking derailed you there.
This challenge is pretty much neck and neck.
Nothing fucking matters about this challenge other than Kyle getting hurt.
Right. Kella takes the lead. Well, it's important to note that Cirie cannot land the monkey's fist to reveal the wall for them to scale up. And that's where the drop-off is.
My note here is Cirie is shitting the bed. Little sad face emoji. I was
really
so sad.
Scary. I'm like, fuck, I do not. And I was about to learn the hard way what you've told me. Don't have favorites. Because your favorites, you'll get fucked. So Cirie's tribe, the Cirie tribe, is way behind while everyone else gets up to the platform. Important to note, Vatu. Kyle is the last of his team to scale the wall. When he's
got a wind up run.
He takes this shit.
He's walking backwards.
I can't remember if he said if he ran track or not, but he definitely looks like he runs track. And he has this crazy wind up. I mean, dude is moving like fucking Superman.
And let it be known too, if we're a little behind on episodes, we don't try to look at any spoilers. We want to go in completely raw. We want to raw dog the episode. And both of us, before watching the episode, you looked over at me and you're like, do you know anything that happens this episode? And I'm like, I know one thing that got like, I didn't know how it happened. I didn't know when, but had it happened up until this point. And you were looking at me and you're like, Kyle. I'm like, yeah, Kyle.
Yeah.
We knew that Kyle was going to get hurt, and
which made this so much harder to
be a medical
watch
evac
in the moment.
And we were watching how it was kind of paced and how it was being shot, and we're like, this is so it.
Clearly
this is the moment.
So the way that it looks at first is he shoots up and he barely misses Q's hands because Q has his arms down to catch Kyle and pull him up, and then he lands like pretty hard. He slams against the wall.
Yeah.
And when he landed, that's when I thought, oh, he got fucked up. But no, because what happens, and we'll get more into this, but what happens is he tore his Achilles, which I think means that it's when he jumped up, which would make sense why he didn't clear and hit Q, because his fucking
I don't know how anatomy works.
Snaps.
I don't know how you. I thought it was on the impact of the land.
I mean,
like
whatever it was, it looked so brutal, and he can't walk on it. And then this is where Jeff stops the challenge. You never want to hear Jeff yell stop in the middle of something. And medical comes to check him out. They decide to let him continue to play, which we were very perplexed by until I realized once he gets up to the platform, he's sitting. He is not involved. And I think for the sake, and there was probably more of a discussion that we didn't see in the episode. I would assume for the sake of like the challenge, they allowed Kyle to continue because they could pull him up and then he could sit on the side. So they didn't have to pull a player, and the integrity of the challenge remains intact.
Right.
So I think that's why they let him go.
See Q getting a face full of Kyle dick.
Yeah.
That was fun.
He like steps over Q.
Steps or like slides.
Yeah, he does kind of give him. He does. Yeah, he does kind of give him like
it was
the
just
yeah.
It was all
gives him kind of the stripper treatment.
It was nothing to Q's imagination. Q knows what Kyle has going on. Like it was.
You should get him on the show.
His face.
That's my first question for Q, if we can ever nail that interview. Cirie finally fucking lands the monkey's fist, and they are in dead last. Kahlo wins tribal immunity, and then Vatu comes in second place. Sela is not even close. They're going to tribal tonight.
The whole time as this is going on, I'm just like, I'm worried about Kyle, and I'm worried about Cirie.
Yes.
Because
my two fucking favorite players.
Yeah, and I'm like, what happened? This is supposed to be the first good episode. I'm enjoying it, and now Cirie's shitting the bed, and Kyle ripped his foot off or whatever, and we get back to Sela and Savannah. Girl,
fucking God,
is basically shitting on Cirie, saying that Cirie's sitting in the bed, and she said that she has never seen anything worse happen in Survivor than what Cirie did. And I'm like, did you only pay attention to the Survivor that you were in,
she's the
Savannah?
Worst person of all time.
I've seen worse, for sure, people shitting the bed. Now, was it not great? Yeah. But it wasn't like it was still a chance and kind of luck based thing,
It
or like
wasn't
a skill based.
It wasn't a crash out.
No, it's like she was throwing it, she was trying. It wasn't like she couldn't hoist herself up onto something. One of the worst that I've seen ever in any competition reality TV ever was one of the most recent episodes or seasons of The Challenge, where CT was supposed to be this really strong go-getter, challenge crusher, and he couldn't get up a fucking ladder. He DQ'd because he couldn't pull his body weight up on a ladder. And that is truly one of the worst places that you can be, because you can't really do anything about it. Cirie just needed to get lucky. She needed to maybe throw it a little further, maybe throw it a little harder, right? She's trying to fine tune her skill, right? She's not doing this in her backyard every day. You do it right now. Figure it out right now. So she's still trying to figure it out. It just took her longer than other people, and it was so heartbreaking to watch. We don't need Savannah talking shit about it. We also get Jenna talking shit about it. Of course Jenna's going to talk shit about it, because she was already saying Cirie's name weekly during the challenge. Great person. Great to bring up when I'm trying to say who we should vote off. So she said that Cirie tanked, and she called it embarrassing.
Yeah, jerk off motion times infinity.
I'm just like, the only person that can call it embarrassing is Cirie.
And dude, the remorse that Cirie shows, she
disheveled,
is beaten down,
upset,
and like again, it feels
fucking horrible.
Like someone who is so, I think, exciting to watch and charismatic and just like cool. Cirie's fucking cool, dude. And seeing her like that, you're like, fuck.
And then you have these two bitches just like rubbing her nose in it. I'm like, shut up. Just shut up.
We are nothing if not biased on this show, and that's just how we fucking ride. But here's what I want to point out. Savannah and Jenna are crusading against Cirie, and I said this out loud. If you ride for Cirie in this first tribal, she will take care of you, man.
Oh, yeah.
And that is so important to think about when you're going in. Is, do I want to ride with this player that nobody knows and this player that everyone's forgotten? Or do I want to protect a legend and get in her good graces to set the rest of the season in motion?
And that's the poisonous gas.
I know.
It's already permeated.
Fuck, I know.
It's already permeated. That's the thing. That's the beautiful thing about her, is she has that effect on people. So sure, you can ride with Cirie. I mean, I truly think Ozzy could be the only person that sits up at the final with Cirie and has a chance against her.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I mean, maybe like Genevieve too, with her, the way like she kind of, but like right now, I think that's the only person that can kind of stand up against Cirie. So yeah, if you're trying to get on Cirie's good side, she's probably, she will ride with you, but she's probably going to beat you at the end.
Speaking of Ozzy, he goes to Christian, Joe, Boy Scout, fucking Weeblo ass Joe from 48, and Emily.
Yeah, that's the other thing. So we have Savannah on the very end of the spectrum, and very close to that for Matt is Joe.
The most cornball, fake, noble bullshit that I just hardcore do not fuck with.
See, I take a little bit of issue with this.
Why?
Just for like, I don't necessarily fuck with Joe either. I don't think he really has much of a story to tell in Survivor 50.
He created his story, and his story was Eva.
Right. His story was, let me
I'm protecting this
nurse
person.
this broken
player,
baby bird wing,
someone who is dealing with adversity while on the island while playing this game.
Right. I think the same reasons that you don't like Joe are the same reasons that I don't like Rizzo. And I think it's two different sides of the same coin.
You think that Joe's being authentic?
I think Joe's being authentic.
Ugh.
You just don't like it.
I don't, dude. Here's why I disagree. Because I think that he's already presenting himself in a completely different manner on this season. We have bitter ass Joe, and let's get to that.
Kyle and Camilla scammed me, and I'm upset now.
I want to point out that Ozzy is protecting Cirie when he's
Yes.
going to Christian, Joe, and Emily, saying, no, we're keeping Cirie. Christian says here, speaking, we've used the word liability. Christian thinks that Jenna is playing too hard already and says the word liability. I think that words can be very powerful, especially in Survivor. And if you have a way with words, which clearly Christian does, that's a weapon on its own with the exact language that you use.
Well, he says too that if we keep Jenna in this game for a very long time, we're going to have to play around her game the rest of the time we're out here.
Which is true.
Because she's just kind of like a bull in a china shop, and we're going to have to try to maneuver around it. And Savannah goes, nah, I can play around Jenna.
And
shut up.
Joe goes to Savannah, and I think we even talked about this last season. Like, on paper, based on their histories and the way that they played, Joe and Savannah would be oil and water. Savannah is arrogant, mean-spirited. I don't like her. Joe is kind of like this. He's like this knight in shining armor.
Keep going.
He's noble. He likes to be like the tribe dad. I don't like him.
You like him. Yeah, there you go. That's their commonality.
Right.
Matt doesn't like either of them. Therefore, they unite and become super evil. And Matt really starts hating both of them.
My dislike for them is like the little bit of Dijon that turns it into a salad dressing. You know what I mean? That's like this lethal combo. So, I mean, obviously, we see here, Joe hasn't seen Savannah's season because this is 2 weeks after 49. He's
probably looking at her. Very similar physique to Eva.
I thought about this as well, like a younger woman, kind of like that protective, nurturing side that he is very adamant about.
But also a physical badass. Both of them were and are
they were
a
huge physical threat together.
Eva was, crazy in competitions, and Savannah obviously doesn't know this, won a ridiculous amount of competition. She tied for having the most female competition wins in a season. Now, she left that out of the she wanted to showboat a little bit saying she won, but she didn't want to go too far and be like, I win all the competitions.
See, but like, that's what I would say. Instead of saying I won, I would say, I think they chose me because I won all these physical competitions. Because like, you can tell pretty early on if someone is a physical threat or not.
It's not like a shock.
She dug under that beam faster than the other two at the very beginning of the episode. So that's what I would lead with.
Yeah.
Stupid. So he is super bitter about being played by Kyle and Camilla. Kyle and Camilla, season 48, masterpiece of a game.
He's kind of walking around like he has a dirty diaper on.
He's like, he's
hoping Savannah's about to help change his dirty diaper or some shit.
So he is like so butthurt that he got out-strategized.
Diaper rash, if you will.
He got out-strategized because he was in a very physical duo that they thought they were going to make it to the end for that reason.
He thought he was running the game.
But he was back in that heavily out-strategized by Kyle and Camilla's secret, beautiful alliance that only us, the viewer, knew about for the majority of the season. And he is that is fueling his disdain for Ozzy and Cirie because he sees Kyle and Camilla when he looks at Ozzy and Cirie. Now, look, makes sense. Two of the greats teamed up together. What do? You know what you could do, Joe? You join them. Why not join them? Why not say, hey, you two, I want in on this. I'm a newer age player. You guys have been around for forever, so let me get in on this and we can run this shit together. Why don't you join the identified place of power, Joe?
I feel like Joe and Cirie, like I feel like they're both kind of authentic in their own ways. I know you don't buy Joe's, but like I think they have a certain sense of nobility about them.
I see that
in their own way.
Cirie's willing to fuck people over, though. I think where Joe, well, maybe he is now because he's so bitter.
We shall see.
Emily goes to Devon's and is pushing Ozzy, actually. She is intimidated by Ozzy. Kind of makes sense from like the type of player she is versus the type of player Ozzy is. She wants to keep Jenna and Cirie together. She doesn't want to vote either of them tonight because she thinks that the two of them going at each other will be camp drama and it will distract from her strategic game that she could have with Christian and Devon.
She is thinking, 2, 3, 4, 5 moves ahead.
Yes.
Because she is
That's how she
smart.
rolls.
But guess what, Emily? We have the here and now. What gets us to tomorrow? Careful.
And she decides to pitch this to Savannah, which I think is going to come up very soon, if not the following episode of this season. We kind of end this pre-tribal, beach time with Christian, Joe, Savannah, and Devins kind of debating. That's the tease before going into commercial, right? Is, we don't know where we're going to vote. I wrote this down, just spitballing here, a hypothetical. Do you consider going to Cirie and telling her, we're riding for you, we're keeping you, but you got to vote Ozzy tonight? Is that a worthwhile attempt?
Not this early.
Yeah? Okay.
Not this early, I don't think.
Why?
Because you have so many numbers that you don't need her.
The lines aren't drawn yet?
Yeah.
Okay. Makes sense. This is where you started talking about, you started making an analogy with a shark
and a
fish. And I thought about the Phantom Menace. There's always a bigger fish. I'd like you to take it from here.
So what we're getting with this season is that gamers be gaming. So it starts off hard. Everyone's trying to find this ride or die. Almost in every tribe, with multiple different people on the tribes, they're looking like, yes, you and I, we're gonna team up. Sometimes it's not gonna work out, right? Like with Aubrey and Genevieve, but you have a lot of people that are like, let's link up and run this shit. Let's run it together. And it's really they're all trying to one up each other almost. Everyone's being so strategic all at once, all at the same time. There's nobody, like Jeff said in the beginning, there's nobody that's sitting back and like just being like, I'm going to play a low key game. No, everyone is here on 50. It's going to be a fucking bloodbath from the beginning. That's what it's going to be. And the thing that I like to do all the time, I love a good analogy. I love a good metaphor. And you have one person's theory and it's a little minnow. And you're like, okay, that's a theory. That can be. And then you have a big old fish come and eat the minnow. And you're like, oh, that's a big fish. Eating that idea right up. That's a better idea. And then you have a just giant shark come and eat the fish that just ate the minnow. And it's just back and forth, these bigger ideas. And you're like, what big idea is going to be next, right? Same thing. Jenna's like, Cirie. And then Cirie's like, let's, figure that out. Actually, we're going to get Jenna. And then Emily's like, you know what? I don't think either of them, Ozzy. So it's these people that are constantly trying to one up each other. And it's like, whose strategy is going to be the biggest, be the one that sticks?
Damn. Getting all fucking cerebral on me, dude.
Yeah. You're welcome.
That makes perfect sense. And do you think that anyone in this game is thinking that way right now?
No, I think people are completely linking up with their, power part of the other half of their power duo, or like trying to like embed themselves in these like slightly larger alliances and be like, oh yeah, we're going to run this shit. Meanwhile, them over there, they think they're running it. They think they're running it. They think they're running it. All of these different groups think they're running it.
Maybe a better question. Who's capable of reaching that mentality?
I mean, I think the big shark idea in my mind in the Cirie camp right before we go to tribal is Emily.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
Like she's the one that's like, no, we don't have to worry about Jenna, or we don't have to worry about Cirie because Jenna's throwing Cirie out. We don't have to worry about Jenna because everyone's coming for Jenna. Worry about the real threat, which is Ozzy. And that's the bigger picture idea that she sees. And that I think you start out strong and get out a Cirie or Ozzy in the beginning. And those are like two of my historically favorite people. So it pains me as like a viewer to say that, but like
it's what you got to do.
Yeah, thinking about it from a strategic standpoint, that would be your best chance to get further in the game.
Let's make our way. Let's grab our torches. And well, I guess they don't grab their torches yet. Let's get to tribal.
Right. The
tribal set. We have multiple stone temples covered in vines and topped with very tall, skinny pyramids. It's a little strange to see close up because the walkway in kind of weaves around all of these temples. It's not like a straight line or an angled line.
Last season, we get this awesome, sick-ass shipwreck.
The pirate ship.
It was so cool. It was so cool. So I'm waiting, what's 50 going to be? And at first, I'm just kind of like, okay.
It looks kind of like you're waiting in line at like the Animal Kingdom.
Yeah. But then they have a lot more wide shots and like pan outs. Right. And then I'm like, oh, this is cool. This has like a gravitas to it, a weight to it.
The aerial shots look amazing, and it really gives you that like ceremonial vibe.
Mm-hmm.
So it is impressive, but it just took us a second to figure that out. And I want to point out Jenna, talks about how different this tribal looks compared to the way that it looked for her in her very first season. I just want to, I only have a couple notes for the actual tribal discussion, but I think
because we're all starting with a clean slate, right?
Well, there we go. Joe once again calls back to Kyle and Camilla. He needs to rein in his butthurt. He tries to say that everyone should come in with a clean slate. And
Christian basically turns around and says, "Get fucked with that attitude."
Like, are you crazy?
Yeah.
I mean, dude, he basically kind of laughs at him, which is so awesome. He says, "There's absolutely no way, Jeff. It's not possible. There's too much history," which I think is absolutely right.
That's what happens when you have an all-star cast.
That's the whole
People
point.
talk, especially I would say in more so new era Survivor or new era anything, Big Brother, whatever show you want to watch, Amazing Race, you have people that go onto the show. And yes, they have their fellow cast members, but what happens is they get welcomed into this very elite and exclusive community of former players, where former players are ready right after your season's airing to put their arm around your neck and, show you the ropes of what it's like to be a reality TV celebrity out in the real world. Let's hang out. Let's film some TikTok reels together. Let's, party. Let's go have fun. You are embedded into this deeper community. So yeah, these new era people have an advantage because there's way more sense of community with these people than I would say the first, 35 to 40 seasons of Survivor.
It's like if we're headlining a pay-per-view and it's Chris Jericho and CM Punk. We're not going to be watching this because CM Punk is going to hit the Pepsi plunge and Chris Jericho is going to go off the middle rope. It all comes to like the 25 years of storytelling that we've gotten between the two of them, both on stage and off stage. Like it's, and I know I'm always bringing it back to wrestling, especially on Survivor, but that's because it is so personality driven and it is all about, those storylines. So I was kind of like, Joe, do you think you're on I think you're on the wrong show. I don't think you realize where you are right now. It was, I think, kind of really embarrassing for him to try and sell it that way. And I can't really think of like a reason that he would sell it that way.
I don't know.
So I think that's the only note that I really have. Yeah, Jenna leaves.
Bye. Honestly, this is probably the best result that production could ask for because she is from the first season and they can say, wow, we have someone from the first season. She's not a personality like the rest of them. And this is where she becomes real upset on not getting very far and being the first out.
Important to note, she votes Cirie. So there's one vote Cirie, and then it is a unanimous vote for Jenna. She only needed 5 to be sent home. Right. She kind of
we laugh because we have about 30 minutes left of Survivor after this, and you don't get a Jenna send off at the end of the episode.
No.
You just get and Jenna's gone next. And Kyle gets his big, obviously, as he should, unfortunately, but he gets a big send-off in the episode.
We get her exit interview, whatever you want to call it, that you normally get during credits in the middle of the episode before we go to commercial.
And very fast. She gets nothing. But she, in some post-game interviews, is going around saying that the alleged pre-game alliances caused her to go out early. And she says, "You're not supposed to pre-game. I didn't." So I don't think the way she was talking about it, I don't think it was anything like the pre-gaming controversy that Sage showed light to for 49. That was a whole
6
saga.
hours of Instagram lives.
I watched them all, and she said the same thing
I had to
like
start
3
leaving
times.
the room because I was just hearing the same Sage shit over. We still like Sage, but that
well,
was embarrassing.
Love Sage. But she was saying that a lot of like, you know, all of these people who are, you know, have these real world friendships, have an advantage. I'm like, yeah, of course. That's what happened. You're just sad because you played Survivor 25 years ago and then you went home and did nothing with it. These people make careers out of being on reality TV now. The reality TV, your first show is just your foot in the door, hopefully, to be on more in the future and to be a personality. She didn't get any of that, and now she's upset about it. She said some fun production, like pull behind the curtain. She said that production sent them threatening emails constantly before the game, saying there should be no collusion. You're not supposed to be pre-gaming with people. You're not supposed to be talking to people. Come on.
Well, like they just all know each other.
Yeah.
Like you're gonna even if everyone stayed out of each other's DMs, you're gonna naturally gravitate. Like, of course, Cirie and Ozzy gravitated towards each other. They've played together before.
Yes. Actually, they play together. But then the other weird thing that didn't happen is we didn't get no after tribe at night debrief.
Dude, that's what's amazing. It's how little this show cared about Jenna. And what's so amazing is that this is the celebratory season 50. And the one callback to show the way that this show has progressed is out without a second thought.
Yep.
Just a fucking fart is the way that she goes out on this game.
And you go, when are they going to put that in? It was packed. It was like 3 hours of packed TV. I think it was like a total of 2 hours.
No.
And you whipped over and you yelled at me and you go, you're not getting less Jeff. Are you kidding me?
No, not for a goddamn second. You're going to get less Jeff in place of how we all feel about sending Jenna home. Because I'll do. I think I have a pretty good idea of how it all went down. And like I would say, who probably has the biggest take? Let's say Cirie, honestly, you know, legend player. Like here's my impression of Cirie mourning Jenna. Okay, that's it.
Okay. We've mourned. We're done. Alrighty.
We have another 40 minutes to go in the episode.
We have a journey to go on.
Journey time on day 3. Mike wins rock, paper, scissors against Charlie on his tribe. Savannah wins a number guessing game. And Colby is volunteered by his group, and he doesn't really fuck with that. Interesting enough, but they were all like, hey, Colby, you go for it. We get to the island for this journey. Colby tells Mike and Savannah that Coach robbed Ozzy, that Q came back to camp and told them about Coach kind of fucking over Ozzy.
That's why you got to be careful about lying to your tribe, because you know there will be more journeys where people will intermingle. Yes. And there is cross-pollination, and your stories better fucking line up. Otherwise, it's going to be looking bad for you.
Mike doesn't care about this, but
yeah, Mike's just vibing out there.
He does take it back to camp, and we'll talk about that in a second. Only 2 can compete here. They draw rocks, and Mike has the odd rock out.
Bye,
so
Mike.
He returns to his kingdom where
Get your 6 abs back on your boat.
The Vibe King can continue to reign as Savannah and Colby compete. This challenge is like a combination of Connect 4, Tetris, and Jenga. They are taking turns building this like circular tower, basically, switching back and forth as they each stack a piece on top of the other. I think it forms kind of like it
eventually
moves out. Yeah, I think it's like if they built the whole thing, it would be like a giant oval, a thin oval, thin circle, whatever.
Okay, Mr. Geometry over there.
So, loser is the person who knocks it over, basically.
Yeah.
The last person who places a block without it toppling is the winner. Loser has no vote at the next tribal council.
Sad.
The loss is Colby's after an agonizing wobble, like what felt like an eternity, basically.
Yeah, he was really, really trying. Again, and one that I'd be good at. I love a good stack.
Yes, well documented on this show. You love stacking shit. Savannah, interesting enough, before they depart, she tells Colby, I would love to work with you. Now, here's what I'll ask. Is this strategic? Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Would you do this? Would I do this? Probably. Is it a coincidence that she is pushing this on who but Rizzo's number one ally at his own camp? I don't know the answer, but it could be no. It's not a coincidence.
Collusion.
Look, dude. If we want to talk about the possibility of collusion pre-game, regardless of my bias, regardless of our differing bias towards
on
Rizzo,
Ponderosa. They didn't have time to collude.
Yes, but they went home together, knowing that they were going back out. They already worked together. We don't know anything else. I want to watch this though.
Interesting.
I was very interested to see that play out. So Savannah goes back to her beach. Colby goes back to his, but before Savannah leaves, Colby leaves first. And then Savannah actually receives an advantage. So Colby doesn't know that she's gotten this advantage.
Because it was the way that the challenge was structured is like, you just get to keep your vote.
Yeah.
And if you lose your vote. You don't actually get anything. You just lose if you lose. And you remain neutral if you win. Which, like, shit stick.
Yeah.
Going into that. You're like, fuck, man, I don't even get anything. But she does.
Viewers voted for how the advantages should be categorized, and they voted for them to be dynamic. Do you remember how you voted?
No.
The options didn't the options weren't really explained, like static, something dynamic, but apparently this is a dynamic advantage.
Okay.
It is a secret block of vote. So let's go through the way that this episode is formatted. We don't end with a tribal. We end with a little more camp drama, and then Kyle's removal from the game. The only note that I have on the Kahlo camp is that Mike returns with nothing changed because he didn't compete. And he tells Coach what Colby said about Ozzy challenging his integrity. Ozzy
Talk about blue screening.
And
Coach was like...
Coach does not take this well at all. And Mike is actually a little like regretful that he told him this because he's like, oh, fuck, dude. I didn't think that
I don't think Mike should have done it in front of the entire tribe.
No, I don't think so
Mike
either.
should have pulled Coach separately and been like, hey, man, like, I'm just like telling you this because like I want to work with you and some shit's being spread about you right now. And like use it as leverage, not as like a gossip point.
Because it's kind of a throwaway because like it shows like he told the camera, he really doesn't care. He doesn't think that this is a big deal at all. But like, dude, I think you should have had a little foresight that Coach was going to take that differently.
Yeah.
That's it for Kahlo for now. Let's go to Vatu and then to Sela before we end the episode. We do see Kyle walking around. His foot is wrapped, but he is walking around. Stephanie and Genevieve are idol hunting. They're idol hunting. They're just kind of chatting on the beach. And looky here, Genevieve finds an idol stuffed into a piece of driftwood.
The Billie Eilish boomerang idol.
That was a kind of a jump scare name drop. Important to note, Rizzo walks out doing the idol thing as well. Steph hides it in Genevieve's backpack. Genevieve shares that she has this idol with Kyle. So Stephanie and Genevieve know, or Stephanie and Kyle know that Genevieve have an idol. And it's, yeah, you're right, the Billie Eilish boomerang idol.
Okay.
The way this works is you must send the idol to someone on another tribe. If they're
don't
voted
get to
out,
keep it.
That's right. You don't get it right away. If they're voted out while they still hold it, it boomerangs back to you. This person will not know this part. They will just be gifted an idol. There are two different ways that you can go about this. And basically the two scenarios are you can use this to make an alliance, build trust, or you can let someone fall to a blind side. And I want to ask you, again, is there a right answer here?
Well, the reason she picks Ozzy is because he's gone home with idols in his pocket before.
Right.
Because he gets a little too cocky. Because he can scale a fucking palm tree without a ladder.
I think it's way too early to rely on giving someone an idol to build a trustworthy relationship.
Listen, Ozzy,
Day 3.
Ozzy right now ends this first episode as the most powerful person in the game. The most powerful person. He has his extra vote from the supply challenge, the second part after exile. He has now this idol. And then also things that you can't quantify or grab onto physically, right? Like the extra vote or the idol. He has sway in the tribe. Because people are like, Cirie? And he was like, nope. And pushed it back to Jenna. And he has Cirie as his number 1 most powerful person in the game right now, Ozzy. Hands down.
Like incredibly stacked. So she decides to give it to Ozzy because she wants it to boomerang back.
Yeah, she's like, he's going to leave.
Your options are have an idol, maybe, or definitely don't have an idol, right? And so she wants it to boomerang back. She gives it to Ozzy. It's happened before. Last note I have on Vatu is Colby does tell them that he lost his vote in the journey. Back to Sela camp. Devins now also has his sights on Ozzy. So it seems like Emily maybe got through to him. And yeah, he's thinking many steps ahead. Ozzy discovers the idol in his bag. Comes with the little rules.
He goes, oh,
the rules are he can't give it to anyone. And
which is interesting.
He can only play it himself. The last time it can be used is when there are 5 players left in the game.
It's so far away.
So far away.
It's so far away. And you don't want to use an idol super early and be like, damn, I'm, a quarter through the game now and I need that idol.
Seems like Genevieve made an excellent call.
I think
giving this to Ozzy. But yes, he now has an idol and 2 votes for his next tribal. Savannah tells them that Colby lost his vote at the journey, but she didn't get anything out of it. Just that she got to keep her vote. So
and everyone's like,
no one believes her. No one. This is Survivor 50, Savannah. You're trying to tell me
a little girl.
You went on a journey and brought nothing back with you, that nothing happened?
I'm so sure.
I don't think so. First instance of people rolling their eyes.
Savannah, you're telling Cirie this? Cirie.
Yeah.
Of all people, Savannah's telling Cirie that she didn't come back with anything. Again, Cirie, the most decorated person on this beach.
I don't think so.
All right, Savannah.
So that's it for Sela. We end the episode with a tragic end to Kyle's story. Kyle, who from the jump was making relationships, was playing the game, playing a game that I strongly admire. So this is gutting, dude.
A lot of people were messaging me and being like, I am a new era watcher. I haven't seen any Survivor. I'm just jumping in on 50. And I love Kyle.
Yes. Dude, he's so likable right out of the gate.
This is why you can't have favorites, people.
Yeah.
That's why you can't have favorites. This is what y'all get for picking a favorite, for really liking Kyle. I mean, it's just absolutely tragic. He probably thinks he maybe has a chance. And the way he's selling it to production and Jeff, he's like, I'm fine. Nope. Because he doesn't want to get pulled. And that's how much love he has for this game, is that he's like, you will not pull me from Survivor. They had no other choice. Like, it was a catastrophic damage. I mean, they're out there with like ultrasound. And I'm like, and they're showing it to us, the audience. And I'm like, this has got to be a HIPAA violation, right?
They signed their fucking life rights away when they come on Survivor.
I guess so.
Yeah, they're giving Jeff the name of their firstborn when they fucking come on the show.
Which he does have a firstborn now, so congratulations, Kyle.
Mazel to Kyle. Things are still coming up, Kyle, thankfully, because you can't help but root for him. Yeah, I think you brought that up. Like, his passion is infectious.
Oh yeah.
Like, it's just like, wow, fuck, he gets me excited to watch Survivor.
Fighting to stay on that beach.
Rocks.
I saw some like behind the scenes production talk. That moment where he is sitting there with the doctor talking with Jeff, he said it lasted for over 15 minutes, where he's basically just begging Jeff to let him stay on the island.
Dude.
And Jeff's like, bro, we can't. Like, you're fucked up.
And of course he would. I wouldn't. If Kyle just said, "All right, I'm out," that's not who he is. That's not the player.
And he is just fully recovered, by the way, from that.
Yeah.
Like, there's a video of him showing like, oh, you just saw me get out of Survivor with my injury. This is what happened in between.
Here's the last 6 months of my life.
Yeah. And he like went through this horrible, crazy surgery. He had to go through all this PT. He had to relearn how to walk again. As someone who has had to relearn to walk twice because of my back surgeries, I was like, I do not envy that. That is so fucking hard to do.
So brutal, dude.
Because you're sitting there looking at your body being like, function. I know you're supposed to function in this certain way. Do it. And your body just like won't do it. And it is so difficult, and it takes such a strong mind to like persevere and get through that. And I think he just like ran a marathon or something.
Oh, good for him.
So like he has made like a full recovery and is put all the work back. And he's like, how do I How do I get back and be on top? Run a fucking marathon.
We are walked through this exam where, they're squeezing his calf to lift his toes. He can't. Jeff is performing the ultrasound alongside Dr. Joe. And dude, that is Jeff fucking Probst, man.
He wants to be there in the middle of it.
He is in the shit no matter what.
I mean, we saw Jake go home with the snake bite, and Jeff was basically sucking on his skin, pulling the venom out of his body.
Joe, let me get in there.
Yeah.
That's basically it. They pull him from the game. He tells the rest of his tribe. It's fucking gut-wrenching. He hops down the beach on Jeff and Joe's shoulders, as they prop him up. But then Colby and Q pick him up and carry him through the surf and onto the boat.
What a beautiful production choice.
Beautiful moment.
You don't have production crew carrying him or some random people. It is his teammates. And it was just so eloquently tied up in a treacherously devastating bow.
That's storytelling, baby. Yeah. A note I have here is Camilla at the next immunity challenge.
It's going to be brutal for her.
It's going to be so brutal for her to realize that Kyle got pulled right away.
I think, yes, Kyle was her biggest ally last season, but it worked so well because they did it under the radar. Everyone knows how they're playing now.
Right.
So I think if Camilla and Kyle were ever on a tribe together in a merge situation, it would not look good for either of them.
I just mean on a personal level.
Oh, no, on a personal level for sure. I'm just saying on a game level, because, this still is a game. I don't know that it's necessarily a bad thing for her, strategy-wise, but I think it's going to fuck with her head a little bit, which will then be a negative effect on her strategy, potentially. So,
and then, finally, Jenna did not even get the final word of the episode. They kicked her ass to the curb. It is the beloved Kyle closing things out. And we didn't even get the fallout from her vote at Camp Sela. We have completely moved on. I think this episode has crossed the 2-hour mark. Fuck me. But you did have some factoids before we bring back a recurring segment.
Let's end with our 3 Pillars Award.
All right, let's just move on to 3 Pillars.
So if you're new here and didn't listen to us for season 49 of Survivor, we end every Survivor episode with what we call the 3 Pillars Award, where we award one player for each of the 3 pillars of Survivor, which is outwit, outplay, outlast. There are instances where the same player can earn multiple awards in one episode, but that is not the case for our first episode here. For our first episode, we have outwit going to Christian, because this man
runaway
just absolutely kills the first marooning challenge by hitting those things in, really going at it, tackling his part of the challenge in a really strategic way. He makes fire from his glasses. He shuts Joe down during tribal and was like, we can't play with a clean slate because that's not how the game works.
Dude is flopping his big dick brain all over the beach.
He's keeping his son a secret, which to him is a superpower, so we'll give him that too. He has these bonds already forming with Emily and Devins, who is Rick Devins, also goes by just his last name sometimes if you're confused. 2 incredibly strong players, so him syncing up with them is amazing, and he has some sway in the tribe too, because it looks like he was maybe on the forefront of getting the tribe to sway away from Cirie and on to getting Jenna out. So love that for him. He gets our Outwit Award. Next up, we have Outplay. And who other than Coach wins Outplay? You're probably like, why does Coach get Outplay? Well, because he wasn't a little fucking pussy about getting the key during his advantage.
Yeah, he played the way that
he outplayed.
The way that you win on Survivor. You got to play a little dirty when it calls for it.
Absolutely.
I would give Coach the sweetest tap on his bum for the way that he played this game.
Yeah, good job, buddy. And then we have Outlast. And this goes to Ozzy. Goes to Ozzy because he has 2 advantages in his pocket. His name did come up. He was floated out there as an option. And he even helped Cirie outlast. Yeah. So that was cool. And then he was exiled. So outlasting in more than one way for Ozzy. So outwit Christian, outplay Coach, and outlast Ozzy. Those are our 3 stars from episode 1. We shall see who wins the award next week.
Follow us on Instagram at Backdoors and Blindsides, as well as Threads at Backdoors and Blindsides. Check out our YouTube channel for full video episodes, YouTube shorts, all of that fun shit. And we have a new send-off for our kickoff to our season recap of Survivor 50. Are we doing it together, or am I taking this one?
I don't remember what it was. You wrote it. You're our little mastermind over there. If you'd like me to help you, just let me know. Or you want to send us off. You want to do the send off.
I'll take it this time.
You're the send off man.
But I want to thank my lovely wife
that's
for
me.
sticking it out. This is our 4th season of the show. Thanks to everyone who has followed us along, and thanks to everyone checking us out for the very first time. Recap of episode 2 will drop in just a couple of days, but until then, we came in, we dug deep, and we'll always have something for you, because that's how you do it on Backdoors and Blindsides.